Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
Hix Nix Stix Pix, a podcast about Rob's movies with your hosts, Rob Spewak and Josh Sroka. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let the show begin.
Thank you, AI Guy, and welcome to Hix Nix Stix Pix, a service of the Mike O'Mara Show. I am Rob Spewak.
And I am Josh Sroka.
Now, this is not, for us, the movie's 40 years old, so this is a fairly recent movie for us. But
For you.
that's
For
not,
you.
well, yeah, for the show,
True.
But the thing that is peculiar about it, this is not the first movie that Josh and I have both seen, but the first movie that we've both seen on the big screen, because you saw it at
but that's not really fair, because I saw a 40th anniversary replaying, and you saw it originally.
Yeah, because I was 14. The movie we discuss is Clue. Clue is a movie from 1985, Paramount Pictures, starring in alphabetical order, and they say that because it would be really hard to pick out a star in this movie if you were ranking all the people.
There's a star.
You
There's a
think?
clear star. Yeah.
Do you think it's
I
Yvette?
don't know. No, it's Tim Curry carries this show, carries the movie.
Oh, well, we'll get into that. But anyway, the movie has Eileen Brennan, Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, and Leslie Ann Warren. That's sort of a wrecking crew of a cast. It's great. It was directed by Jonathan Lynn. It comes in at a tidy 1 hour and 34 minutes. I'm wondering if the original movies were a little longer or a little shorter. Probably shorter, because the edit we watched had all the endings put on the end of it.
It was about an extra 15 minutes, I think.
Okay, so this is the movie that had 3 endings. It was released in 1985. I think it was a Christmas release, if I remember. And the theater would say, Clue, ending A. Clue, ending B. Clue, ending C. And you could go around to different theaters to see the different endings.
So they screwed it up. They
How?
should have done it, because if you really want to make money, you do it like this blind box trend that all the kids are into now, where
What
you
is
got to
that?
go see. Well, where you buy something and it's like it's one of 7 things. You don't know what it is until you purchase it, leave the store, and open it up. They should have just said Clue, and then you have to sit through the entire movie to find out which ending you get.
I do believe it backfired because it was not a successful release at the time. And a lot of people felt, if I didn't enjoy the movie that much, I don't want to sit through it again just to see a new ending. But I think it was sort of clever marketing.
I think I go back and forth with the cleverness of multi-endings. Watching them back to back to back, I thought was impressive that they could construct the same movie and with so many different endings and murder suspects. But I also wonder, could you not settle on? It's like when a movie ends and it's like you decide how it ends, like Sopranos. You decide. No, I want you as the director to tell me this is the best possible ending.
You
and
actually
they kind of cheaped out with that.
You remind me of the great William Castle, a schlock horror director in the 60s who did a lot of gimmicks. And one of his movies was Mr. Sardonicus, and it had the punishment pole. And I know this because my dad and his brother Pete handed out glow-in-the-dark thumbs at their grandfather's movie theater. And at the end, the director came in. He was on the screen, and he said, "Should Sardonicus have mercy, or should he suffer?" And then you were forced to vote with your thumb. But there was only ever one ending filmed.
Oh, really? They didn't even. So
No.
It wasn't even just because I knew you. I was going to say you can fake that.
Yeah.
You think American Idol really goes off what the audience says?
No.
It's a
No.
gimmick.
Yeah, it is a gimmick, but William Castle just assumed everyone would vote to punish Mr. Sardonicus. If I said Dr. Sardonicus earlier, I'm sorry, he does not have a medical degree.
He might have gotten it after the movie.
Well, that's maybe how he suffers. That's his punishment. So this is the movie with 3 endings. The trilogy ending is what they call the edit that you mostly see if you're watching it on, say, TBS. You watched it on Apple, I think.
Yeah, I did the Apple rental.
Where they do all 3 endings together. And it is my opinion, I saw 2 endings in the theater. My opinion is that this movie works better with the trilogy ending because it gives you everything as opposed to depriving you of a story. And the part that is the clip where they change the ending is when, at the very last time, Tim Curry shuts off the lights.
Right.
That's when it all happens. But I think it works better as with the trilogy ending. But we'll get into that. Let me tell you the story of a movie called Clue. First of all, I have to know, do you ever play the board game?
It's one of my favorite. I am very good at Clue. But
really?
To the point that, my family's very competitive.
Yes.
They will not play Clue with me.
Who is your character? Do you have a character that you play?
I don't care. But what I do, I don't know.
You seem like Mrs. White.
No, I sit there and I take notes on everything that's going on the table.
Yeah, well, you have to.
You have to. And to play good at the game, you have to take notes of what she asked about and what this person asked about. And they're all like, well, if you didn't ask about it, you don't get the answer. I'm like, no, I'm staring at your eyes as you're being shown a card.
Of course.
I'm getting every note possible.
Remember, every suggestion is a clue to lead to your accusation.
Exactly. I need a whole notebook when I play because I write everything down.
Oh, because I was going to go on Amazon and buy you Clue filler sheets, the long detective notebook that comes with it. Those
I
run
run
out
out
quick.
of those very quickly. I need another sheet of paper for the game.
I remember that in our box of Clue, there were a lot of pencils rattling around in the box.
And my box of Clue used to have squares on it so you could use it for multiple games.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Say,
Yeah.
The lead pipe and be 5 little squares for 5 games. And I did not use that for 5 games. I used that to represent 5 different people. So this square was what I thought my brother was having. This square was mine. And I would do it that way.
I would not want to play Clue with you, but I would love to watch you play Clue with your brother. I'd watch that on a live stream.
I think Clue needs to be revived. I think it's a great game.
It is a great game. So we open the movie with oddly scary music and a man in a car approaching a massive, classic-looking haunted house. He throws a couple of stakes to the vicious guard dogs outside, and in a sort of unrelated gag that I didn't really understand, he steps in dog poo, and it turns out that it's Wadsworth, the butler, as played by Tim Curry. And when he's asked in the movie, what does a butler do? He buttles. One of the subtle lines that always kills me. So we hear, this is great. We hear, as he goes in, we hear Bill Haley in the comments doing shake, rattle, and roll. So we know that this is in the spring or summer of 1954.
Oh, yeah, sure. I knew it meant there's a party going on.
Yeah. He asked Yvette the maid, who is Colleen Camp, and Mrs. Ho the cook, Kelly Nakahara, to make sure that everything will be ready, and it will be. And then, because I've already determined that it's the summer of 1954, detail-oriented am I, as were the filmmakers, the cook is watching the McCarthy hearings from June of 1954 on the television. So all the stuff really works out. I think that's kind of cool. Really, a lot of it, we'll get into it, the attention to detail in this movie is crazy. The first guest to arrive to the house is, of course, Colonel Mustard, played by Martin Mull. Mustard is not his real name, but Wadsworth tells him tonight using an alias is probably the best thing you should do. Mustard comes in, sniffs, checks his shoes. That's second part of the dog joke. The next arrival is Mrs. White, Madeline Kahn. She appears to recognize Yvette. And she also checks her shoes. Now, you talked about, you thought Tim Curry's the star of the film.
Yes, I do.
Okay. When you look at the cast, how many of them did you recognize?
Christopher Lloyd.
Okay.
And that might have been it.
Wow. Okay. Madeline Kahn is brilliant, and I love her in this movie. Michael McKean, you should know, he played Lenny on Laverne and Shirley, and then he did a lot of movies with Christopher Guest. And Leslie Ann Warren, I'll say it here, she's a knockout.
This is your type of movie. I can tell you that. If what I know about this movie is this is your humor all throughout this movie.
I do love the wordplay. All right, so we cut to a broken car. It is Miss Scarlett, Leslie Ann Warren, knockout. A friendly driver pulls up. It turns out to be Professor Plum, that's Christopher Lloyd, and they discover they are both headed to Hill House, which is just off Route 41. Now, the movie is set in New England, and there is a Route 41, but there's no Hill House there. Mrs. Peacock, Eileen Brennan, arrives, and Mr. Green arrives, and seems to be awkward and maybe a little bit effeminate. Plum and Scarlet arrive together, and everyone is seated for dinner. And it turns out they have all been invited by a Mr. Body, B-O-D-D-Y. And that is actually, if you read the rules to Clue, that is the name of the murdered guy in the game of Clue.
Right, because it's just called Body.
Yeah. Originally Good Body, but it's shortened to Body. So after an awkward pause at dinner, Peacock starts awkward conversation, and she gets recognized as a politician's wife. Also revealed, Mr. Green is from Washington. Professor Plum reveals he is a psychiatrist who works for the World Health Organization at the United Nations Organization. And I found this very clever. Because he works at the United Nations Organization for the World Health Organization, his actual title is Who Knew? If you spell out all the letters, it's pretty cool.
All right. That fits for this movie.
So many great details. Colonel Mustard reveals he is indeed a real colonel, and Scarlet says she recognizes him, or so she says. All the invites are Washingtonians or have ties to government employment. So that's the first thing where they find commonality. That's when Mr. Body arrives. He's played by Lee Ving, who a lot of people say because he was murdered, it was because he was Lee Ving. But he was, oddly, the lead singer of a punk band called Fear. So not really an actor, but if you ever catch the band Fear, there's a lot of stuff going on there. Anyway, he arrives to the party, and we all find out each invitee has received a similar mysterious letter, and they all involve blackmail. So after dinner, they adjourn to the drawing room where it is made clear that they are trapped in the house. House is locked. There are the guard dogs outside if they try to get out. And they are just stuck there. Wadsworth reveals that the blackmail scheme is applying to all the folks there. Everyone has something to hide. Plum has taken liberties with female patients. Peacock accepted bribes to influence her husband, Senator Peacock, which I think is funny. Miss Scarlet runs an escort service. That's prostitution. Mrs. White is avoiding a scandal regarding her dead husband, a nuclear physicist, and also her first husband disappeared under mysterious circumstances, so she's probably got a weird past. Green reveals that he works at the State Department and is being blackmailed because he is gay, and if he reveals that, he will lose his position, because remember, it's 1954. So, who is Mr. Body? Turns out, Mr. Body is the blackmailer. Bum, bum, bum. So Wadsworth announces that he has called the police and they will arrive in 45 minutes to stop the blackmailing. He says, this is how we're going to put this to an end. But the guests are suspicious. And Body looks like a troublemaker. He has a bag and he hands out what he has in his bag. Candlestick, a rope, a lead pipe, a wrench, a revolver, and a knife. Lethal weapons all. And he says, Body says, if someone kills Wadsworth, the current arrangements can continue in secret. If someone kills the butler, no one will know about the blackmail and your secrets will be safe. So the room suddenly goes dark and we hear a fracas, gunshot, lights up, and Mr. Body is laying dead on the floor. Could it be that the brandy was poisoned? Well, Yvette screams from the billiard room because she's scared because she also drank the cognac, and it's a good way to get her in on the story, and they need an even number of people for the split-up scene later. Back in the drawing room, Wadsworth reveals that he planned the night and that he actually worked for Mr. Body. The blackmail was rooted in hating that all the guests were un-American. That's why he was blackmailing everybody. Even Wadsworth's wife was a socialist who committed suicide. So who is the murderer?
And that was played throughout the movie with the communism.
Yeah, I love it because you know what? Even just that touch of having the McCarthy hearing on in the kitchen is a great... America was crazy at this time. We were literally televising trials determining whether people were communists or not. It's not a great time to be alive. So they want to know, if Body is dead, who is the murderer? Who else is in the house? They were all in it together. The cook. So they run to the kitchen and they find the cook is dead, stabbed, and hidden in the fridge. So they take the cook's body back to the drawing room. Love it when he says, I like to keep the kitchen tidy. So they take the corpse to the drawing room and discover, now this is weird, Mr. Body's body is gone. And so Mrs. Peacock excuses herself to powder her nose, and Body's body falls out of the lavatory onto Miss Peacock, and now it has more injuries courtesy of the candlestick.
He wasn't dead before.
What's the difference?
That's what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out who killed him and where and with what.
There's no need to shout.
I'm not shouting. All right, I am. I'm shouting. I'm shouting. I'm shouting.
So he is shouting. Candlestick falls on his head,
Yes.
which is quite unfortunate. So they go back to the drawing room, and in a great bit of physical business, they stack the corpses in a way that the knife isn't going to be pushed further into the cook. And when Christopher Lloyd sits next to them, uses it like an armrest.
Well, they don't do a great job handling the corpse throughout the whole movie.
They don't.
Any dead body is just a bag.
Yeah, that's true. So they stack the corpses, and also Wadsworth's idea, lock away all the weapons in a cabinet because no one needs to have those weapons around. So they lock up all the weapons, and they go to the front door because he's going to throw the key right into the rainy night. And who is there but a stranded motorist? The ways that additional characters pop up, usually preceded by a bell, is one of the great running themes in this movie. I love it because just when you think things couldn't get worse, someone shows up. So this stranded motorist comes in and he wants to use the phone, and they determine which room has a phone but no corpses. So they lock him into the lounge. Then they succeed in throwing the key away into the rainy night, and they have a drink and recap the situation, not very successfully.
Wadsworth, am I right in thinking there is nobody else in this house?
No.
Then there is someone else in this house.
No, sorry. I said no, meaning yes.
No meaning yes? Look, I want a straight answer. Is there someone else or isn't there? Yes or no?
No.
No, there is or no, there isn't?
Yes.
Please! Don't you think we should get that man out of the house before he finds out what's been going on here?
Yeah.
How can we throw him outside in this weather?
If we let him stay in the house, he may get suspicious.
If we throw him out, he may get even more suspicious. If I were him, I'd be suspicious already.
Oh, who cares? That guy doesn't matter. Let him stay locked up for another half an hour. The police will be here by then, and there are 2 dead bodies in the study.
Well, there is still some confusion as to whether or not there's anybody else in this house.
I told you there isn't.
There isn't any confusion or there isn't anybody else?
Either. Or both.
Just give me a clear answer.
Certainly. What was the question?
Is there anybody else in the house?
No!
Wordplay like crazy.
It's
just
constant.
nuts and so fast. I mean, if you want to compare it to one of the most classic bits of all time, that's like Abbott and Costello, Who's on First Time.
It is.
And there's 7 people
Well,
doing it.
That's one of my notes. Is this is an extremely smart comedy.
It
And
really
it's
is.
so much better written than comedies that are considered huge successes.
Yeah, it's. I really want to figure out later on why it failed at first and now it has such a
Oh,
following.
I've got theories.
Oh, good. So in true Scooby-Doo fashion, Colonel Mustard suggests pairing up and splitting up and searching. So they draw lots, which is basically matchsticks, and the lengths match, like drawing straws.
Yes.
Plum and Peacock check the basement. Green and Yvette search the attic. Wadsworth and White are upstairs, and Mustard and Scarlet are on the main floor. And this, a little bit of good filmmaking really sneaks in because this is creepy. They're playing some of it for laughs, but there's good dark house horror elements here. You've got the cobwebs, the strategic lighting.
Right.
It's a good looking film. So while this is going on, a mysterious gloved hand burns all the evidence that was necessary for the blackmail and unlocks the weapon cabinet. And using the wrench, the mystery hand murders the motorist right after he reveals that one of the guests was his old boss. So this stew is thickening. Mustard discovers a secret passage that leads him and Scarlet from the conservatory to the lounge where they find the dead motorist. Scarlet screams, and when everyone hears the scream, they all return to the hall, but the lounge is locked. So to get the door open, Yvette has to shoot the door open.
Let us in! Let us in! Let us out! Let us out! It's no good. Stand back! No! There's no alternative. I'm just gonna have to break it down. Go! Go! Go!
I know! I'll eat! Will you shut up? We're doing our best!
I have to just break in and tell you that this chandelier gag is my favorite gag in the movie.
No, please. I've been shot. I've been shot.
Come out, the door is open.
Why are you shooting that thing at us?
To get you out.
You know, you could have killed us. I could have been killed. I can't take any more scares.
That's pretty great. So timing is everything. A policeman now shows up, and I think everyone who's watching it assumes it's the policeman that was called, but it's not. It's a guy who saw the abandoned car, and they let him in, and after figuring out where he can be put, because there's no corpses, they put him in the library, and he is immediately suspicious of everyone's behavior. Right then, the phone rings, and the policeman answers a call from someone who says he's J. Edgar Hoover. Another thing about the Red Scare and, politics and communism. So the cop tries to figure out what's happening, and while that's going on, Mr. Green shows the cop around. One of the greater visual moments in the whole movie is when he goes into the ballroom, and they're making out with the corpses in a way that appears. It's really gross.
It's fine.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. It's really bad. But they are playing Shaboom by the Crew Cuts. Here is a sidelight that Josh will not care about. They're playing Shaboom off of a 78 RPM record player.
Yes.
And this version of Shaboom that we're listening to right now is my own restoration from a 78 of Shaboom by the Crew Cuts.
Nothing but accuracy here.
I really, I depend on it. My life depends on it. So the cop says, everything's fine. That's no big deal. But Green didn't know, Wadsworth didn't know that they were going to be able to cover it. And he says, it's America. It's a free country. So he's thinking that murder is allowed. But the cop is fine. They lock him back into the room. And the search continues. And once again, there's a house blackout. When the lights come back on, they find Yvette killed with the rope. She's in the billiard room, laying on her back. The cop tries to call the station, but as he's trying to dial, the lead pipe hangs up the phone and ostensibly kills him as well. That's when a singing telegram shows up, of course, and is shot dead. Now, when I play this clip, Josh, this is exciting for me because I can actually reference a previous episode. Right before the singing telegram, look at the extraordinarily lit close-ups of all the characters and tell me if it's not like the last reel, that scene, that ending scene in Maltese Falcon, when Wilmer wakes up and he sees all of the people in horrifying close-ups. This is a total lift from the Falcon.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
I am your singing telegram.
Any idea who played the singing telegram?
Of course not.
No, that's Jane Weedland, rhythm guitarist for the Go-Go's.
Of
so
course.
There's two.
Now I recognize her.
I forget. I'm a little older than you. But two rock and roll stars have basic cameos in this movie, which I think is pretty cool. Let's see. This is such a great line. They go back. They see that they've discovered Yvette. They've discovered the cop. They've discovered the singing telegram. And one of them says, 6 corpses. This is getting serious. Anyway, Wadsworth says he has the whole thing figured out, so he begins a very energetic recap of the events. Now, I told you all to watch this movie last week before we did it because I didn't want any spoiler alerts, but I will say this with absolute honesty. I've seen this movie 100 times, and every time I watch it, I don't remember all the endings. And I don't fully understand them. I kind of do, but the ending is so inconsequential to the whole movie.
But at the same time, the best part of the movie.
Oh, yeah. The recap is absolutely amazing. So he says he's got it all figured out. And right as he's about to do an energetic recap of the events, it turns out that the first gunshot was indeed intended for Mr. Body. But when they discovered Body, someone used the secret passage to stab the cook. And it turns out that the cook and Yvette were both spies for Body. Now, Mrs. White and Miss Scarlet and Mustard all knew Yvette. The murderer also used the wrench and the secret passage to kill Body. The motorist was Mustard's driver, and the cop was in Scarlet's employ for information. And the singing telegram had an affair with Professor Plum. And right then, the doorbell again. Oh no, it's a religious door-to-door beatnik played by an uncredited Howard Hessman, Dr. Johnny Fever, who was not in the opening credits because it might actually lean to a clue later on because he's not in the main body of the movie. So he did the movie without any credits in the open. Finally, it was revealed that Yvette killed the cook and Mr. Body the second time after he was already killed. And so who killed Yvette? That's the question now. It's the motorist, and who killed the singing telegram girl? It was whoever had the gun was guilty because of the singing telegram shooting. Miss Scarlet has the gun, and she will continue to blackmail for information. She prepares to shoot Wadsworth because he's useless. He doesn't have any information for her.
Scarlet, there are no more bullets left in that gun.
Oh, come on, you don't think I'm gonna fall for that old trick?
It's not a trick. There was one shot at Mr. Body in the study, 2 for the chandelier, 2 at the lounge door, and 1 for the singing telegram.
That's not 6.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
There was only one shot that got the chandelier. That's 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Even if you were right, that would be 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, not 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Okay, fine. 1 plus 2 plus 1. Shut up! Point is, there's 1 bullet left in this gun, and guess who's gonna get it?
So she's ready to shoot Wadsworth. And right now, remember that religious hippie? He charges in. He is actually the chief investigator with his crew. He is FBI, and they arrest Miss Scarlet. Now, about that gun.
Wadsworth, don't hate me for trying to shoot you.
Frankly, Scarlet, I don't give a damn. As I was trying to tell you, there are no bullets left in this gun, you see? 1 plus 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is...
Amazing callback with the chandelier. Just love it. Then you get like in a silent movie when they used to put up a title card. It's just black with white writing. It says, that's how it could have happened. But how about this? So during the last blackout, Mrs. Peacock is the killer. She was absent from the group when Body was killed, and the cook, because the cook was a former employee of Mrs. White and could reveal more secrets. So she murdered the other ones to protect more info getting out about her. So again, they do the thing where they turn out their pockets to see who has the gun. Peacock has the gun. They let her go. And Wadsworth reveals he never called the police. So there's nothing to worry about. So the blackmailer was disposed of. The FBI will perform a cover-up, and that's that. They're in the habit of covering things up, he says. And as Peacock escapes, she is apprehended by the beatnik and arrested because he really is FBI. And Wadsworth actually is an agent that works for J. Edgar Hoover and masterminded the whole thing. The Hoover call was for him. Then we get another card. But here's what really happened. So this is the ending that apparently is the real one. Professor Plum faked the death diagnosis of Mr. Body because he's the one that checked the body out when he was killed the first time. Because he fired the gun and missed him. He re-killed him when everyone was in the kitchen. Colonel Mustard stole the cupboard key and, using the secret passage, killed the motorist with the wrench. Mrs. White caused the blackout and then killed Yvette with the rope because she was jealous. And we get this clip of Madeline Kahn that is nothing short of brilliant. Nothing short of brilliant.
Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette. I hated her so much. Flames on the side of my face, heaving breaths.
I invite you to go back and watch the clip again if you're listening or watching the podcast, because that was totally ad-libbed.
The flames wasn't in the script?
Not in the script. And if you look at...
That's a great part.
If you look at like Martin Mull and Tim Curry, they look like they're about to say, "What are you doing?" They really... Actually, you know what? Just a little more. Watch it one more time.
Yes, I did it. I killed Yvette. I hated her so much.
Looks like Martin Mull's about to break.
Flames on the side of my face, heaving.
They just look clueless, and I
It
love
does.
that.
I like
It's so,
that.
so great. Anyway, Mrs. White had killed Yvette. That's right, with the white hot flame. She was jealous. And Scarlett killed the cop who had seen, she had been bribing him for information. She killed him with the lead pipe. So who killed the singing telegram lady? It was Wadsworth, because they turn out their pockets and he has the gun. In fact, he reveals that great twist. Wadsworth is actually Mr. Body, and Wadsworth reveals the blackmail will continue. Then Mr. Green pulls a gun, he has a shoulder holster, and shoots Wadsworth or Body, and he reveals that he's actually an FBI agent, and Hoover was calling him, and oh, he's not gay. And the doors swing in, and the FBI backups and the beatnik rush in. So who did it? They all did, but Mr. Green killed Mr. Body in the hall with the revolver. That's how the movie ends. Again, I don't feel bad about doing like a reveal of any plot points because it's so much going on.
And I think we went far enough that you should have stopped the podcast and went back and watched the movie before now.
Probably, yeah, probably. But it is just so much fun. Let's take a break, come back and opine on some things we think about this movie. I think we're going to have a lot of stuff we agree on. It is a Hix Nix Stix Pix taking a look at 1985's Clue, and we'll be back after this. Welcome back to Hix Nix Stix Pix as we take on Clue. You said the ending you saw in the theater when you went a couple years ago
was the final ending.
The final ending, which is great because it has the iconic line, "I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife," which I would feel so bad if people that saw endings A and B, they wouldn't get that.
No, and one of the best jokes is, "I'm a plant." And then she says, "I thought you were a fruit." That's great.
It is great. It is. And also, the dialogue is clever. And I know that's one of the things that makes Mike O'Mara hate this movie, because it's a lot of clever wordplay, but not overstated. It moves, whole movie moves at 80 miles an hour. Even when it slows down, it's fast. Now, we mentioned that it's based on the board game Clue.
Yes.
Did you know that this was the first movie based on a board game? And this is fascinating. The board game was originally called Cluedo. And in Great Britain, it's still called Cluedo. It was
Cluedo
published
is a horrible name.
It is a horrible name. It was published by a company called Waddington's in the United Kingdom in 1949, and it was bought eventually by Hasbro in the United States, and that's why it's not called Cluedo anymore. So
well, from now on, it is.
I'm going to always call it Cluedo. Absolutely.
No,
so
I think when you look at this movie and why it didn't do well in theaters when it came out, I think part of it has to be why would you make a movie based on a board game?
Yeah, and you know what? That's something that people don't even say boo about anymore. I mean, they make movies about everything.
No,
now.
we had what other? I know Battleship was a board game.
Battleship was a board game, and then the Transformers and Legos and all of that stuff.
Those are toys, but yeah, everything's now IP based. Exactly,
you're exactly right. What did you think of the music in the movie?
The music's great. It sets the tone of every scene. It allows the movie to shift and move, and the music's great.
It is written by, the music was scored by a guy named John Morris, who worked a lot with Mel Brooks. But listen to some of these credits. High Anxiety, Spaceballs, The Elephant Man, The Producers, Young Frankenstein. I'm not even scratching the surface of all the scoring this guy did. And I've
seen one of those movies.
I thought you would have seen Spaceballs. Is that right?
I saw Spaceballs, yes.
That's right. Okay, good. But Young Frankenstein is literally a beautiful score for a comedy. But what he does here, and originally I thought it was weird, but the more I listened to it, the basis of the whole score is very lush and very much like a 1940s whodunit. It feels like a big motion picture, but then he'll invoke a little synthesizer or a little something that smacks of the 80s that reminds you, we're just having a good time here. But it is not a chintzy throwaway score. It's a great score. And also, when you first saw the house, when the lightning backlights the house, it's a matte painting. But one of the coolest things, it's one of the last movies that Albert Whitlock worked on, who essentially invented matte painting in Hollywood, which is where you would put something on glass and then, inject it into the scene. I love that first reveal of the house because it's surreal and it kind of lets you know where we're at. I mean, it's a classic haunted house, but it's just so weird looking. The look of the movie is entertaining to me. I could probably watch big hunks of it without sound and enjoy it just based on the way it looks.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the sound is so much of this movie, though.
It is
dialogue and everything.
But the action and the running, this movie makes you tired when you watch it. The same thing happened in the movie Honeymoon in Vegas, where Nicolas Cage is running around the whole movie, and at the end of it, you're just like, oh, thank God that's over. But not in a bad way. It's just a hectic movie.
Well, and I think that's also goes back to why I think that's why it's a better movie to watch at home than in a theater, because it moves so fast. It's joke after joke after joke that you're going to miss stuff in the theater because of loud people, distractions, laughter. So
unwrapping
for me,
of
it plays
candies.
much better at home. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, people that buy, snow caps, they have to open the box. Unacceptable. Tim Curry said this is his favorite movie that he ever made. And you say that Tim Curry is the star of the movie.
Yeah, I think Tim Curry's the star, especially because of the ending and where he recaps what's been going on. And he's just spastic during that part of the movie. And
he's amazing. I mean, physical comedy like crazy.
Yes.
These guys and these actors were not young to do all the pratfalls they did. And they did quite a few.
I love Tim Curry pretending to die over and over again as he's telling the story.
I love that.
My favorite.
I love when he keeps knocking over Mr. Green and he says, "Stop doing that." I will say this, though. It is a great ensemble cast, and nobody is weak in this movie. This comedy doesn't work if it doesn't move at the speed it does. And you've got so many comedy veterans here. Like, can you imagine, just for example, to keep it current, because that's what this show's all about, if you tried to remake this movie with say, the cast of Entourage?
No. But they did. They did.
How?
The secret with Clue is that if Clue didn't exist, you would never have Knives Out, the Netflix movie.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you could take it back
but that's
further.
what I'm saying. You're taking it down to that, and you're taking the big ensemble cast, the murder mystery. Any of these stars could have been the guy that killed him, and that's how you do it nowadays. If you remade Clue and tried to bring a bunch of comedic people in to do it, now it wouldn't work. You have to do the high drama.
I think the comedy people now that are noted in movies, they have a persona that sort of precedes them. And so they have to play to type. If you go to a movie, what The Rock is going to do.
Yeah, you know what Seth Rogen's going to be.
Exactly. But I still would like to see a remake of Clue with everyone from Euphoria. It doesn't have to be dirty. Sure. Zendaya could play the butler.
Be like the female Ghostbusters. Why not remake it?
Oh, okay. I withdraw the remark. I hate the female Ghostbusters. Now, this is funny. You mentioned that you recognize Christopher Lloyd in the movie.
Yes.
And he's been in so many great things.
Correct.
But what's wild is I cross-referenced, this movie came out the same year as Back to the Future, where he played Doc Brown. Now, this means that Christopher Lloyd in the year 1985 starred in 2 films that were set in 1955. And also 2 of the greatest movies of the year. So, I mean, busy day for him. And, he's at Hill House and also in Hill Valley.
Yeah, but not a guy like, he didn't know these were going to be huge movies.
No.
There's no way you knew Back to the Future was just going to be this gigantic
I
thing.
think Back to the Future had a much better chance on paper than this one did.
Sure.
Because, I mean, of all the power behind it, behind the scenes, you got your Spielberg, you got your Zemeckis. These guys
That's true.
They don't miss the ball when they hit. But it's a pretty good year.
And he likes playing weird roles.
He does. Did you have, because you see him as the star, do you have a favorite character in the movie? Is it Tim Curry?
It's Tim Curry. Yeah, I mean, Tim Curry's the favorite.
I like Colonel Mustard based on not just the chandelier gag, but the fact that he is so good at playing stupid, but not aware he's playing stupid.
Well, and that's where I like the head FBI guy. who's the religious guy. I like he's
Howard
small
Hesseman,
parts,
yeah.
small parts in there, but I like the way he plays it because he plays it like that. Like he doesn't know what he's going on here.
I think that the entire Mustard character is encapsulated in this exchange where he says, "Are you trying to make me look stupid?" And Wadsworth says, "You don't need any help from me." He says, "That's right." And that's perfectly written. Patch, boom, 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 boom. The character of Yvette, the French maid, do you know that Jennifer Jason Leigh, Demi Moore, and Madonna were all up for that role? Would have changed the movie if Madonna was Yvette, I think.
How? Why? It doesn't matter. It's a role.
Well, I think one of the leading characteristics of Yvette is her figure, I'll say.
Yeah, but that wouldn't have changed the movie if she was a little smaller. It'd be okay.
According to the director, that's how she got the part. She came in something low cut.
Well, that's fine. It definitely changed the director. It's not going to change me watching the movie.
Okay, good. Leslie Ann Warren as Miss Scarlet is a really delicate character, I think, because she's sexy, she's bawdy, but she's not over the top. I feel like she could really be that character, that sort of business savvy madam of a prostitution in development. But I think her stuff is written really clever. They make her sharp tongued without being over the top. And I think most of the characters, I think it's not often in a movie that each of the lead characters is so clearly defined and so clearly written. No one is left behind when they do that. I thought it was great. And also, did you notice when you talk about sound, really good sound design, the bell serves as one thing, but early in the movie, anytime something big, a plot development happens, there's a thunderclap. And it's almost like when a comedian tells a joke and the drums go boom, boom. It's like a rim shot. It emphasizes it.
Yeah, I always saw it as a reset.
Yeah.
Every time it would do it.
I love it. I love that. And I love the bells. I did notice this time, first time, the house has portraits of Presidents Abe Lincoln, James Garfield, and William McKinley, all presidents who were murdered.
Okay. All right. But still leaning into that government theme.
Yeah, very, very true. Just so much attention to detail. It really feels like a classic mystery flick. I mean, I know it's old, but it feels like they could have released it with very little change in 1940, and it could have been the same movie. It's just the writing is so fine. Now, I got to ask you, this movie came out, and I don't know if it was because of competition, it just wasn't a big hit.
Yeah.
Now it has an amazing cult following.
Because it's better to watch at home.
I think you're right.
It's too weird to go out and watch in a large group. They confused everyone with the multiple endings. Where now at home, that's easy, and you can easily understand that. And how they do them back to back to back makes a lot more sense. And like I said earlier, just with it's so fast paced that you want to be able to rewind, pause, and all that.
I have watched it with captioning on because it is so fast. I like to see the dialogue in front of me. Do you think it's deserving of being a cult favorite?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think so. Because I at least for me, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I've now watched it twice. I remember when I came out of theaters, I don't know, 6 months ago to see it. I said, "Oh, I should have probably watched that before now." But I think it's also too weird of a movie to be a huge comedy. And whenever you get that weirdness of a movie, that ends up in that cult comedy classic.
Yeah, I don't know if it's weird as much as it is niche. And also, you know, for a movie that has so many people falling down, it is actually a very smart movie. When you follow up with 3 different plot lines that have 3 different endings, that's pretty incredible. And to bring that in 90 minutes or so, that's really condensed, tight writing. And you have to appreciate that.
And it falls right in line with a lot of other cult comedies. Where, like, my favorite cult comedy is The Burbs. Everyone hates it. I think it's a great
I don't
movie.
hate it. I love it.
I think it's written well. I think the dialogue's great. And this movie, to me, falls right in line with that.
Did you see the remake of The Burbs that was on maybe Netflix?
Yeah,
or
I don't
Hulu?
want to talk about that.
Okay, we don't have to talk about that.
No, I mean, I watched 2 episodes, and I have not gone back.
There wasn't much on. I watched them all. You didn't miss much. I will tell you that.
It has To me, it's got very, very, very little to do with the movie.
It does. It does.
There's a creepy neighbor, and then it ends.
When you talk cult movies, if you ask me, I think my favorite movie considered a cult movie would be Napoleon Dynamite. And the thing about it is everyone told me how great it was. I had to watch it 2 or 3 times before I started to like it. And now I adore it. I adore every frame of it. And I have seen this movie. If I say I've seen Clue 100 times, I honestly don't think I'm kidding. I think that's true.
I think you're right. I think that's what a cult comedy does, is it grows on you.
Yeah, I think you're right. And also with Napoleon Dynamite, I could sit down and watch it tonight, and I bet I would find something that I hadn't seen before. I mean, I saw stuff in this that I'd never noticed before, like the windshield wipers when Plum picks up Leslie Ann Warren, and the wipers are squeaking, but they're basically catcalling. They're going like, woohoo, woohoo, woohoo. A total throwaway gag, but it works.
The Orioles are now doing this celebration when they get big hits, where they're putting their hands together and doing this like bird flapping thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And all I can think of is Napoleon Dynamite and the Happy Hands Club. Every time they do it.
Now you have to wonder if someone walked in on this promotion and said, guys, let's do something else. Because it does suggest something that we're not doing.
It does. It does.
All right. Any other things, good or bad, that you have to say about the movie?
Let's see.
Because I could go on and on about how much I love it. I have a hard time finding fault with it.
The only fault is that it's too weird or too niche, as you said. And it's so fast paced that you can't just I find that it's a movie that would be a tough recommendation. I think it's a great movie, but I'm not going to tell my dad, oh yeah, check out this movie, because you have to pay attention. It's not one you can put on in the background.
Oh, it's definitely not a background movie.
Not until like the second, third, fourth watch.
Now,
first time through, you got to pay attention.
I got to know, did you invite Kelly, Mrs. Stroka, to watch it?
Well, she saw it in the theaters with me, yes.
Oh, okay. And this is great. What was her take?
She enjoyed it as well.
Okay.
I believe this is the first movie that she's watched with me for this.
That's really excellent.
But no, she enjoyed it as well.
I went to a screening at the Alamo, which is sort of a small, I will call it a boutique movie theater, because they show the big films, but they also do special events. And they did
a lot of crap now, the Alamo.
Why?
Well, because they're known for like the whole no phone policy.
Yeah, right.
And during COVID, and now they've continued it, they've changed it so all your food ordering is on the phone. So during the movie, you just see people pull their phones out and big screens glowing to order food.
That's stupid. That's really dumb.
It's really dumb.
So when you want to think of something dumb, Josh, just remember the Alamo, like Pee Wee Herman said. But I went to Alamo, and they did a special screening of Clue, and it's a favorite of Robert's, my son, as well. He was younger then, but I mean, it was still something he liked. And when you went in, you got a party popper that you could shoot off when the gunshots went. You got a bell that you got to ring
they
every
like to
time.
do the
the props,
sing along or quote along.
It was really cool, and I have to think that 20 and 30 years down the road, this movie will still be well regarded. I think it's aged really well, and it might be a better movie now than it was then. So, I got to ask you.
It was nice to watch a movie where it's not like, oh, that's inappropriate now.
No, I mean, is there even a cuss word in it?
No, I think there's murder, so that might
there's murder and there's sexual stuff implied. No. But I mean, even when they tell Professor Plum that he was caught at something, and he goes, "Aw, shucks."
Right.
I mean that would have been a perfect place to put a bad word.
Maybe we can't call each other fruits anymore.
No, well, okay,
that's outdated.
Well, it is.
There might be a little bit of stuff like that, but it gets a pass because it's never done in a creepy way. It's all done wordplay and humor.
And also, for the bulk of the movie that Mr. Green plays as a gay character, it's not over the top.
No.
As a matter of fact, it's barely a punchline. It is really a characteristic that provides his motivation, because if he is revealed to be gay, he can't work at the State Department.
Right.
He's clumsy. That's funny, but that doesn't have anything to do with his sexuality.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's essentially a G-rated movie, and also about the fruit and plant idea. I think that plays because the movie was set in the 1950s. because
True.
I don't think that the phrase, the fruit phrase, is quite as hot as it once
Oh,
was.
it's
quite
not
as popular.
now.
Yeah,
No,
at
no,
all.
no. The kids would not get that joke.
No, they wouldn't. But it's a shame because it's a fine joke. All right, I got to ask you, how many out of 10, 10 being the best, how many red herrings do you give Clue?
Oh, this would be 8 red herrings. I really enjoy Clue.
Wow, that's
It is
a huge rating for you.
Yeah, it's a huge rating for me. I think it's a very good. I think everyone should watch this movie, as
Remember,
weird and niche as it is.
Communism was just a red herring.
Yes.
I will give it a 9 because based on attendance, I've seen it so many times that, wow, why am I not bored of it yet?
Yes.
I think it really belongs in a sort of comedy hall of fame, if there is such a thing, you know?
I could go onto YouTube
Mhm.
and just watch the reveal at the end and be happy for the day and smile and laughing.
Yeah, I could just watch the chandelier drop over
Yeah,
and over
exactly.
and over again. By the way, it's preceded by let us in, let us in, let us out, which is so, the dialogue has such a rhythm. And
Yeah.
you know what? We're not selling any tickets. Let's
No.
not do this. All right.
We should-
Yeah.
Why have we not figured out a way that we get some pennies when people rent through us?
I
We need to figure
know.
that out.
This is my Super 4K Ultra HD Clue that doesn't play in my Blu-ray player because it's too advanced for it. But someday I'll get the
because
4K
you have-
player.
You have the Ultra HD.
Yes. But it's
I don't think they make Ultra HDs anymore.
well,
I
I've
think
got
that
them.
I think that was the one that failed. You know,
I
that
have
when we
a-
had the head-to-head.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. You know, not as sorry as I was when they stopped making HD DVDs because I
Oh,
bought
right.
some of those too.
I also, yes, I leaned into HD DVD as well.
Because you could play it
made
on a
that
game
mistake.
system.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
worked on the Xbox.
I remember
and
this.
And I worked at Blockbuster at the time, so it was an easy grab.
Did you recommend stuff?
All the time.
You should have recommended Clue.
If I could go back and work Blockbuster every day, I would. It
Love
was
it.
my favorite job as like a kid coming up.
Yeah, I have I think 2 Elvis HD DVDs on my Elvis shelf and nothing to play them on. But it's great merchandise that my kids will enjoy when I pass. All right. Next week. Now this was as far as we go, outside of maybe like the movie Frankenstein that was on Netflix, this one leaned pretty current for us.
It did.
So
It did. That's what has me concerned. We did 2 colors in a row.
2 color motion pictures, and I hold in my hand Hix Nix Stix Pix for April 15th, 2026.
No, it's for next week. It's
I
not
know,
for
but this
today.
is the day we're opening it. That's
All
what
right.
I'm saying. So
Got it.
now they know when we opened it.
right.
Like the movie Clue, we're set in the
Well,
past.
I'm just concerned that it's April 15th and you're going to open that up and it's going to say The Accountant.
No, I promise it's not. And if you're the first time listening to us here, by the way, thank you. But honestly, Josh has no idea what's in this envelope. No
I
idea.
don't.
And that's
it really
what
does
makes
concern me every
this
day.
is my favorite part of every show.
Oh.
Let's see what happens.
All right, where are we going? I'm sure
Ah.
you already set it up. We're going order.
I didn't necessarily say that.
No, you did. We're going
Okay, I
order.
did. Oh man, do you know what the greatest year in Hollywood history was?
Yeah, 1999. I believe that was when The Matrix came out, and American Pie, and American Beauty, and I
Well,
don't remember any
American
others.
Pie is a great film, but most historians of film say that 1939 was Hollywood's apex of the golden era.
Did film exist back then?
Did film exist? The Wizard of Oz came out. Gone with the Wind, Stagecoach. These are all great movies, including this one.
Which one is it?
Not in color. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
All right, it's a movie I've heard of. It's
You've
a movie
heard of
I
it?
feel like I should have seen at some point.
Okay, it is great. It's Jimmy Stewart, of course, and there's the that's what the DVD looks like.
Yes.
If you're into physical media,
Of the reflecting pond.
yeah, exactly. Reflecting pool.
Pool. That's
Yeah,
the
we've got a
word.
pool and a pond. The pond would be good for you. Mr. Smith was directed by one of the great directors of the first half of that century, Frank Capra, and he always got a hard time because his stuff was corny. So his films were called Capricorn. But we're looking at a movie.
Wait, is this a corny one? I thought Mr. Smith Goes to Washington was like this serious, like courtroom drama.
No,
Am I confused?
it ends. No, you're right. It ends up that, but there is the very fact that the whole thing is about patriotism and keeping government pure. It's sort of a corny message.
All right.
Not a bad message. It's just a little corny. We're looking at, again, I'll use the phrase again, a wrecking crew in this cast. James Stewart, you know him.
I do.
Jimmy Stewart, right? Okay. You don't know Gene Arthur, right?
Nope.
Claude Rains, do you remember him from Casablanca?
Of course I don't.
He was Renault. He was Louis Renault. He was great. He's never made a bad movie.
Is Sam in this?
No, he's not.
All right,
I'm going to now go down with a list of people you've never heard of.
Sure.
But all
let's
great
start.
actors. Thomas Mitchell, Edward Arnold, Beulah Bondi, Guy Kibbe, and Harry Carey. But not that one.
Oh, come on.
It's a different guy. It is.
Let
me hear ya. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Come on, Cubs fans. It was a Columbia Pictures release from 1939, and it's 2 hours and 9 minutes. But it's really great.
Did you say 2 hours and 9 minutes?
Did I? I did. Watch it in two parts.
Is this our longest movie?
No, Frankenstein by far the longest movie we watched.
Frankenstein was the worst.
This will feel like an hour 50, I bet. And see if you can't get your wife to watch it. She'll like it. It's good.
There's no way for a 2 hour and 9 minute movie.
Maybe she'll watch some of it.
Maybe.
It's really an amazing class. And you know what you'll enjoy? Great shots of Washington, D.C. in the 1930s.
No, that's what I'm excited about. Okay.
It's probably the best part. All right. So that's what your homework is. I guess we can call them what? Hix Nix Stix Pixians? No. Hix Nix Stix Pixies.
No.
The little mythical creatures that listen to our podcast. They are the Hix Nix Stix Pixies.
You know what would be great is if those pixies could head on over to YouTube and give us a follow and keep spreading the word. If we can get YouTube up to 500 followers, then we could do one of these live over on YouTube.
We will do a live one, and it won't be 2 hours and 9 minutes. I promise. Maybe we will revisit a short subject. So visit all the things, do all the things, smash the like button, follow, spread the word. And remember, for $200, you can buy us a cup of coffee, and we will complimentarily review the movie you request. And you can do all that while you roll your eyes.
HixNixStixPix.com.
Yes, right. That's the website.
Buy a coffee and whatever. Just click on there. You can click buy a coffee or PayPal, however you want to send us your cash.
Yeah, I don't drink much coffee, so choose a movie. And that's a great message.
We'll watch the movie you want. $2,000, and we will not review Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
No, not again. And that's a valid message and a promise to all of my dear, sweet Hix Nix Stix Pixies. I'm afraid, Josh, you hated the name of the show when we did it, and I won you over. I think I'm going to win you over with Hix Nix Stix Pixies. I think so.
Can't they just be Hicks?
No, I think that's derogatory.
All right, then Sticks.
No, they're not Sticks. That's a band. Unless they sang like, Babe. We can't do that. No, Nixons. How about that? There are little Nixons. We'll come up with something.
All right.
So until next week, folks, make sure you watch Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, 1939. I'm sure it's available on all the streamers. And thank you for listening this week. I'm Rob Spiewak.
I'm Josh Soroka.
And we'll see you next time on Hix Nix Stix Pix, all you pixies.
Hix Nix Stix Pix, a podcast about Rob's movies with Rob Spiewak and Josh Soroka.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.